time for a little work on the Skedaddler. I know you thought it was done, but I've got some details left before it's ready for trail rides or racing or anything, really. So I'm back working on the Skedaddler today. It's running great. Mechanically, it's really good, but there's a bunch of things that need to happen yet before I feel it's ready for a trail ride or the Wild Bill or anything else. Number one, the recoil. When it's below freezing, this recoil hardly goes back in. I've got another recoil that I prepared off another JLO 295. Hopefully that just fits and works, but there were some variations over the years, and I don't know if it's the wrong recoil for some subtle reason that I can't figure out why. Then I'll have to fix this one. Next, get my ski toe in set right. They're way too wide. Another thing I got to do, I really want to do anyways, is get rid of the flex pipe in the exhaust system. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. So I've got those two ball couplers, and I got to weld a pipe between them. Hopefully that works out good. And then the last thing, and maybe the biggest part of the whole job, is getting the lights working, because technically you do need lights when you're riding in Minnesota. Okay, so with my handlebars set to straight ahead, more or less, I can see it's the right-hand ski that's super wonky. The left hand's actually pretty close. You know, this thing's never going to handle like an Indy, but we can at least make the skis point generally in the same direction. So not much to do. You just crack your adjuster nuts loose, and there's some flats on the tie rod, just like a lot of sleds have, and just adjust it. Oh, lovely. This tie rod's got two right hand heim joints on it, so that's great. I could turn it all day and the length won't change. It just shifts it side to side. So I guess I'll pull the tie rod ends off and adjust it out a ways that way. That's different. I'll show you. Get up there. So this tie rod end, well, first off, it's got a little misalignment spacer, so you don't want to lose that. Then it's got this big spacer underneath, and a super long bolt for some reason. I'm not going to even try to pull it out, but I'm guessing that's for the bolted joint. Gives the bolt more length for stretch when you tighten it up. It's probably a good idea. It's just kind of funky. You don't normally see that on a sled. There we go. Steering's good to go. Do I think it's going to turn any better? Not a chance. Remember all this time I spent messing with this goofy eccentric setup and this like semi-jack shaft deal here? Well, the payoff is today. Should be super easy to change the gears. Nice. All right, so this is a 45 tooth bottom gear, and I've got a 44. It's not much, but it's something. It should take it, it should give it a theoretical 1 mile an hour increase in top speed. Better than nothing. Super easy. So if you have any skedaddler gears, what I need is a skedaddler 22 or 23, or hopefully both, top gear. I've been looking for any and I can't find them. This is the smallest bottom gear that I've determined that they've made, is a 44. I don't think there is a 43 for a skedaddler. So a 22 or a 23 would be great. Right now this is a 21. So 2144, I think my theoretical top speed at 6,000 RPM is 48 miles an hour. Fully shifted out. I'm not saying it'll do 48. That's just the theoretical. All right, that's the two easy jobs. I think I'll knock off the exhaust next. The good old Donaldson can. Flux pipe doesn't seem horrible, but really, why take the chance? All right, here's those ball couplers I bought a while ago. Yep. There's that other one. Oh, so close. Yep. All right. So I'm in business there. Now I just need to find a piece of tubing, figure out exactly how long it needs to be, and get a welding. Well, after a huge dig through the shop, I found the only tubing I had that was going to work is this heavy wall, like drive shaft tubing. It's way too heavy, but it fits. It's the right ID. So, I'm only going to use a little length of it, hopefully. We'll get this thing back together, measure it, cut it to length, and we'll go from there. Well, it was a waste of time hunting up that tubing because I don't need it at all. Check this out. So, got the muffler in place, and these guys have plenty of sliding adjustment. So all I got to do is TIG weld the two center pieces together and put it together, tack everything, and final weld it. Life will be good. All right, still working on that exhaust. So I machined up this little ring out of that piece of tubing I found. And the whole purpose of the ring is because the ends of these are kind of thin where they're formed. It's going to be pretty hard to, A, line them up, and B, weld them without burning the edges away because they're so thin. And they're just kind of razor thin. So my theory is I put that ring on and I just center it over the overlap like so and weld the ring to each half. It's twice as much welding, but it should be several times easier. All right, here's how that center coupler came out. Nice and clean on the inside. You're probably wondering, Nutter, what are all these extra crosswise beads on there? Well, I get to thinking, I'm doing this for durability, and how dumb would it be if that ring snapped? I did make that ring pretty thin. It was melting away pretty fast when I was welding. So basically, I came back and did a bunch of extra beads to act as reinforcing or strengthening ribs across there. Should make it a lot stronger. All right, we're getting there. I like it. I like how it all fits. It's tight down here where it's supposed to be bolted up. It's tight up to the head. No undue strain on that or stress. So pretty good. So I'm going to tack it right there, and then we'll pull it out and weld it. Why am I smiling? Because I'm done TIG welding. So there's all the parts. All the flanges are still loose. Didn't stick any of them. The welds are what they are, but I'm sure it's plenty strong. So I'll get that back in the sled. There it is installed. I'd say there's plenty of give to account for the motor flexing, and it sure as heck is going to hold up better than that flex tube would. Well, the recoil's matched, so that's a big relief. So I'll get this one installed. This one, eventually I'll have to clean up and lubricate it with the proper stuff and turn it into a backup recoil. Well, it's wiring time. I got my hat on. That can only mean one thing. We're going to the junkyard. Got a wire cutter, got a flashlight. What I need to do is find a junk trashed wiring harness and get the plug off it that connects the main harness to the Polaris rear seat. Enjoy the barrenness of snow in my woods. It's not good. All right, we found our victim. There we go. Back working on the Daddler wiring again. And by the way, don't forget to get your Nutter Speed Shop t-shirt. Links in the description. All right, so over here, this headlight is not really a headlight. It's a par 36, like a garden light, essentially. And I had it in there the little bit I ran it. The screw terminal's already vibrated out. So I went ahead and soldered the wires right to it. That isn't going to come loose. I tried to tack with a little solder on these. I don't know, it looks kind of cold. So I added in some zip ties. And the zip ties limit how far these could possibly unscrew from there. So hopefully it's good for durability. I guess we'll find out. All right, we're doing a light check. We got the gang is here today, plus Water Pump Tim. And I just finished wiring it as everybody pulled in the driveway.
Right.
Once more squirt.
Squirt, squirt.
Either that or I screwed up the ignition.
Well, come on now.
In which case we'll have to refill.
We never refill. There she goes.
Heck yeah!
You got lights, you're legal.
That sled hasn't had working lights since I owned it, so that's awesome. It's December 29th, and I'm in a t-shirt, and there's no snow, and I'm going to ride a snowmobile.
Dogs inside.
Uh-oh, yeah. Okay, come in. Come in. Come on. Daisy, come in. Come on, Daisy.
Come here.
Come in.
Daisy, Daisy.
Battery's almost dead.
Oh, well, we'll get it quick. Ready?
Yeah. Ruh-roh. You pulling the rope?
Yeah.
Need more gas.
I might have flooded it. Give it a little more?
Yeah, a little more.
Well, if it's flooded, it'll just be more flooded, so what's the difference?
That's what it took last time.
Oh, that is a pretty fine stream on that bottle. Oh, come on. Skedaddler is race ready, ready for the Wild Bill 20, or if we get snow this winter. You can see the dirt on the ground. It's, well, it's Friday of Christmas week, whatever day that is. 30th today, boys? 29th, right?
29.
29th today.
29th.
So we still don't have any snow here in Minnesota. Every bit of snow we've had, you've seen on some video, and it's never been more than a trace, maybe a half an inch. It's a depressing winter here. Hopefully it's better wherever you are, but I'm getting messages all the way down from up by Winnipeg that they don't have squat, so I don't know what to say. Anyways, keep working on your sleds. Hope you're enjoying what you're doing. Just consider this a time to get everything ready for when we do have snow. And huge thanks to the patrons. You guys are the best. We really appreciate your support of the channel. Everybody else, down in the description and in the comments, there's a link to the Patreon. If you want to support the channel, go down there, click the link. Everybody that does a $5 or $10 a month support gets their name up here on the screen. You're helping us out with beer and pizza and parts and everything else. And you get to see videos that just aren't going to be on YouTube. That's pretty huge. And there'll probably be one of those today since Water Pump Tim is here. We're working on Tommy's sled. Everybody else, hit subscribe, and hopefully one day we'll see you on the trails.